UFC 206 was the major event of the weekend, but one night prior, we had UFC Fight Night 102 going down in Albany, New York, with Derrick Lewis scoring a fourth-round TKO of Shamil Abdurakhimov in the main event of that card. And Lewis has now won 5 consecutive fights at heavyweight, the longest active streak in the division, but he was very critical of his performance afterwards. He just said straight up he doesn't think what he did against Abdurakhimov is worthy of getting him a top 5, top 10 fight, despite his lengthy winning streak and going unbeaten over the past couple years. So for Lewis, he's going to have to, if UFC agrees with him that he needs to take a little bit of a step down and maybe slow his progress towards a title shot, I think that's totally fair. There's no need to rush a guy like him. He still clearly has some stuff to work on, but there's lots of heavyweights out there that he has yet to fight that can test him pretty well. And I think a matchup pitting him against former Bellator heavyweight champion Alexander Volkov would be a very logical fight going forward. Volkov made his UFC debut in successful fashion last month, beating Timothy Johnson over at the UFC Belfast card. Volkov is a very tough fighter. I think he would be able to test Lewis in the areas where he's shown some weakness, and if Lewis could get by that kind of fight, then we're talking about top 5, top 10 opponents, those big names in the heavyweight division. But right now, let's just slow the roll with Derrick Lewis a little bit, get him in there with someone like Volkov, whose height, length, and just overall skill set could present some problems for Lewis. If he gets that win, it would be 6 in a row. Of course, for Volkov, if he can get a win over someone like Lewis, it enhances his standing in the UFC. So I think that's a matchup the UFC could throw on pretty much any card. Lewis is from Houston. There's a UFC event in Houston on Super Bowl weekend, so maybe that card would be something to look at for Derrick Lewis after his victory in the main event of UFC Fight Night 102.